Welcome to Tea Time, the only video game show that answers the questions no one cared enough to ask. This week's show is brought to you by all those celebrities encouraging you to vote. Because if the fate of your country isn't enough, maybe you need the Hulk to tell you why it's important. But speaking of the election, I've been waiting to do this episode for a couple of months now. Back in July, Caped musical fan of Lasers asked, which candidate has to win the upcoming presidential election to put us on the path to living the recently launched Doom? That's a pretty great question. Let's just make it fit on the next screen. Now, I expect most of you are already familiar with Doom lore, but if not, here's the elevator pitch. There's a military base on Mars, they're working on teleportation, things go wrong, they open up a portal to hell, and a Marine has to kill all the demons that come through. Now honestly, I think either Hillary or Trump could totally handle that situation. Trump's wall keeps the demons on the other side of hell, and everyone's got guns just in case they do get across. And Hillary was Secretary of State, so she could probably just meet with Hell's ambassador and settle things diplomatically. But the question is, which candidate would get us to that point? And the answer is 2012 presidential hopeful Newt Gingrich. And in the interest of fairness, Newt is also my guest for this week. Give him a round of applause. Well, thank you very much for being here, Newt. It's probably pretty great to get away from all the Capitol Hill nonsense for a little bit, right?
Yes, it is.
All right. Oh, that's nice.
Great. Now let's get to it. Doom takes place on Mars and its moons, but we've got to think reasonably here. Let's talk about our own moon first. You have thoughts on what we could do with our moon, right?
Going back to the moon permanently, getting to Mars as rapidly as possible, building a series of space stations and developing commercial space.
Oh, well, I guess that answers my next question too. So if Gingrich got his way, we'd eventually get ourselves from our own moon all the way to Mars. Step 1 is complete, and that's definitely the most important one. But what about all that teleportation stuff? I mean, could we really open up a portal to hell?
I would like to see vastly more of the money spent encouraging the private sector into very aggressive experimentation.
Okay, so we sort of just leave them to it. Maybe offer some sort of prize?
Most of the great breakthroughs in aviation in the 20s and 30s were a result of prizes.
Okay, I see what you're doing there. So we get to Mars and we give people an incentive to start experimenting with new technology. That's step 2. But there's one last thing we need to truly complete the Doom experience. Hey Newt, how do you feel about guns?
But we actually think the Second Amendment is central to our liberties.
Perfect. So we go to the moon, we rip open a portal to hell, and thanks to the Second Amendment, we get to blast away at all the demons that come through. And with that, we've completed step 3. So Newt, you and Doom, you think that could ever happen?
Well, the two are not incompatible.
And I would have to agree. Give it up for Newt Gingrich, everybody. So that's my answer. Which president would initiate the Doom scenario? Well, Newt Gingrich would get us to the moon, make sure people are building crazy stuff like portals, and put guns in our hands to fight the demons of hell. But thank you all very much for watching. If you've got some sort of question or obscure topic you'd like me to dive into, leave it in the comments below. As you can see, I definitely base episodes on your guys' suggestions. And if you want more videos and podcasts and articles, head on over to LaserTime, because we do all sorts of fun stuff. So one last shout out to Caped musical fan of Lasers. Thank you all very much for watching, and as always, let's go play some video games.